Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. We're joined by a special guest. It's Reese's new kitten, as
Yes.
you can see for the visual listeners slash watchers on YouTube. Reese, please introduce the cat.
Hello, everybody. I'm Reese, and this is Bean, the blue, short-haired English cat. English
It
short-haired.
had to be English, yeah.
Yeah, had to be English. Not a fan of any of the foreign cats. Voted Brexit for a reason a few years back, mate. Did you vote?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, neither did I. But yeah, this is Bean. Got it yesterday. It's Sanaya's cat. This is the first time I say it's Sanaya's cat.
Aya's cat, is it? Yeah.
No, it prefers Sanaya because Sanaya's been at home all day. But I'm impostering right now.
Who paid for it?
No. Abster paid for it.
Shock.
Mate,
Reese has never bought anything himself, guys. Even his own cat, his mum's bought. For
it's not my
fuck's
cat, man.
sake.
It was Abster's present because we asked for she wanted to get like the house something for Christmas, and we wanted like a big mirror, and she couldn't find the mirror.
Couldn't get that.
So
So I got you a cat.
yeah, literally, mate, she goes, I couldn't get. Yeah, she was like, do you want me to get you a cat instead? And I was like, what, a cat? And these were the only cats that I've ever seen that I've actually really wanted. And I said this to him before the podcast. I said this to you. And I was like, okay. No, I originally was like, I don't really want a cat. I was like, but there's one cat that I quite like. And my mum said, I know which one it is. That's the one I was thinking of. So we got searching. Sanaya's instant reaction was, I don't want a cat. I then showed her, said, cat, and she was sold. And then literally, mate, all morning yesterday, I was supposed to train with Pat, Pat Jones, men's physique guy, and Jacob. And Pat had like bailed the day before with his car. And I was like, oh, so I'm free on Monday. And she spent the first the 2 hours of the morning, like messaging everyone, like, can we go here? Can we get it? Can we come get it today?
He rang me.
Yeah, because we're going out this weekend and we just wanted to know if we could have somebody to look after said bean. But yeah, we got it from Blackpool yesterday. We had the choice of a boy and a girl, but the boy was like, didn't really like us, just like didn't really fancy like sitting with us, would run off, like was quite like almost a bit aggressive, like in a weird way. Yeah, Bean is just very nice and chilled. I'm convinced she's like got something wrong with her, like mental health wise, because she doesn't know where she is half the time. So she was facing a wall earlier, just like literally her head was against a wall.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much you getting psyched up for a set.
Yeah, no. I think she was crying as well. Yeah, it's because she got split up with. She was with a boy yesterday. It was a
Oh,
brother,
really?
so it's a bit weird. So yeah, this has been. Sanaya, do you want to come grab the little kitten? Oh, no, Bean, it's
Being his
okay.
confirmation that Reese is a shit driver because every time he
Oh,
went
mate,
around
this
a
was so funny.
roundabout or a corner,
She'd meow.
but she'd meow for the duration of the
corner,
corner.
yeah.
There was one really long corner and she'd go, meow.
Why did you choose? Why did you choose the name Bean?
We were we originally so.
Oreo and Aura.
No. The original name was like so. Basically, this is a weird story. This, but the first ever cat that I ever like interacted with, I was on holiday in Greece, and it used to come into my room and wait for me when I was like 6 or 7, and it would literally sit on the end of the bed, waiting for me to wake up, and we called it Milo. And the reason why I called it Milo, there was a restaurant called like Milo's down the road, and that's where we went. So they were like, "Oh, call the cat Milo" when I was on holiday. So we were originally going to call it Milo because we had the choice between a boy and girl. But because it was a girl, we were like, we need a different name. And we were like searching all loads of different names. We had a few ideas. There was a few like, what did you say, Aura and Oreo.
Yeah,
Because
because
she had a nice aura.
Yeah.
And then we were a bit like, yeah, but Aura sounds like, it's like almost 2 syllables. I wanted like 1 syllable,
You said
simple,
Oreo.
snappy, and yeah, we went with Bean. So that's Bean's name. She's a lovely 12-week-old female cat.
She's 14 weeks.
She's 14 weeks. Getting old.
Oreo wouldn't work unless she was like black and white.
I said that, yeah. But I quite like the name Oreo. But
Aura
yeah.
We used to have
And then
we had a rabbit called Domino because it was like white with black spots.
Yeah, fair enough. Even mate, you even said the cat was cute on a message, and you never show emotion regarding anything like that.
Oh, I'm all right now. I've recovered from prep.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I've got emotion back.
Okay, fair enough. It only took you what? I saw you reel earlier. 58 weeks.
58 weeks. Yeah, it was about 56 weeks, and I started realizing I'm actually a human.
Oh, okay. So only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Fair
No,
enough.
to be fair, like it's very difficult to pinpoint when you would say like, yeah, I recovered from prep then, like because there's still signs like I think there always is going to be.
Yeah.
I think once you've had that, once you've prepped, I think you're always going to have those like connotations towards prep where you like you'll feel a certain way and then you'll relate it to how you felt within the prep.
Yeah, I agree.
Like we said about like when something like big happened, like you're almost a bit like compared to like when you're like before you've ever dieted,
Yeah.
and something like a bit funny happens, you're like
Yeah.
and then you do go through a diet and like you just don't laugh at anything,
Yeah.
and then post diet, unless something's absolutely hilarious,
Yeah, you just don't care.
you're like yeah, I don't need to waste energy on that. I've got other things I need to be spending this
We were
energy.
saying this in the gym. So for anyone like obviously who wasn't in the gym with us, because it was just me and Finn having a conversation, we were speaking about like again like as you said post diet sort of feedback and how you feel. And like I remember when I was like 18 being in a car and it was like maybe 5 of us and I was in the back seat. And the guy driving went round this corner so quick, and the car spun to the side, literally about went into like the fucking bushes, and everyone screamed. And I was like a week post diet, like, and I literally my heart rate didn't move, like I didn't get scared, and I was just sat there, just like, almost died. But it was like there wasn't a single ounce of like, oh no, and it was like so
It's
funny.
really weird.
I remember, yeah, no, people won't understand it if they haven't gone through like a prep or a diet that was really extreme. And like it was more extreme than any prep I did because I was like eating nothing and I would just do loads of cardio. And I remember literally having a chat to like the people in the car afterwards, like or like on their own, and I was like, something's wrong with me. Like why? Because I was like, why did everyone scream? And I was just did not like if my
The
life
worst thing
ended
is
there,
then
I
like
wouldn't care.
that plays on your mind because
Yeah,
then you think like you almost try and force it.
yeah,
Like I remember like post show like again Shannon would do like really nice things for me and I'd like I wouldn't feel anything. You know what I mean? And that was nothing to do with her. Like it'd be the same thing with my family or like like Christmas morning or like things that you're supposed to get excited for.
yeah.
Nothing. Like literally nothing. Just felt numb for months. Like literally months.
Yeah.
Probably until a few months ago. Like legit. I remember we went on holiday to Morocco and like
That was only like 4, 5, 6 weeks.
yeah, that wasn't long after.
Yeah.
But mate, like my mental health was absolutely in the bin then. Like yeah, it was not good. We still had a nice time. Like it wasn't like we had an awful holiday. It was nice, but like I was just in my own head the whole time. You know what I mean? Like because you have that feeling where you're like I'm just not. I know I'm not right. Like you know what I mean. So then you're thinking that you know you're not right, and you question it. And like by that point, like I still wasn't getting erections. So like we didn't have sex on the holiday.
Yeah.
No one had left me. Food wise, obviously it was all inclusive, so like that's difficult to manage a few weeks post show.
Yeah.
It was after Vegas as well, so like the look wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Like so all those things combined, it's like I'm supposed to be on holiday and enjoying myself. I work really fucking hard to enjoy a holiday, and all I'm thinking about is like I'm not okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not nice, and I think it's good talking about it because like people think that if they experience that, they think there's something completely wrong with them.
Oh yeah.
And like even like me at the time, like I knew it was still. I'm not gonna say normal because it's not normal. Like bodybuilding is not normal, but like there was some respite in knowing that like I'm not fucked. I just need time. Like you know what I mean. It wasn't like oh my god I've ruined everything forever. It's like no, like I just need time to recover. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
I
It's not
remember
like you're fucked.
similar sort of thoughts to me. Like I remember my mum saying to me last year after prep, she was like, "You're not going to be sound for like 4 to 5 months as a minimum." And I was like laughing. I remember being like, "Nah, give me 2 months, I'll be cool." And she was like, "No, you've like fucked yourself up. Like there's no chance you're going to be ready, like to be normal again in like the next couple of months." She was like, "Give yourself time. There's no stress." And I remember being like 4 weeks post show. I'm like, 4 weeks post show. I'll go on holiday next week. What the fuck? And again, I've said this story before on the podcast, but like me and Sanaa were lying in bed we went to Lanzarote, like that was the first holiday. And like Sanaa was like kissing me and I literally was like, get off me. And she was like, what's wrong with you? Like, and I was like, no, I'm sound. I'm just not sound. like it was like, and I remember being like, there's nothing. I was like, you could do anything. There's nothing you could do that's going to make me go, oh yeah, time to be a fucking bloke. And this is an assisted prep where all my hormones that I could control would have been sound. It's just the extent of very, very low levels of body fat and a lot of stress to your mind. Like, preps are really cool for the sort of tunnel vision focus you get. I think it's actually, if you always had that focus without the negatives, Jesus Christ, I think like
It's so
life, oh,
productive.
it'd be like
Like,
playing life on easy mode because you would get everything done so quickly. But it's like I feel like it's almost like you pay it off in like other ways, like that
yeah.
sort of boost that you and that tunnel vision you get. Other areas crumble, and then you have to rebuild them.
Well,
But
it's like relationships, like family
yeah,
and friends and stuff. Like all my family were like pretty worried about me. Remember,
mm,
like my sister at that A1 show.
yeah.
Like, I at the time just remember thinking like, what the fuck's she on about?
Why is
Like,
everyone there? You know, it's like you're like the drunk guy at a party. You're drunk,
yeah,
everyone's like, you're drunk, you need to chill out. And you're like, I'm not
yeah,
fucking drunk.
yeah. And then even like when we had that chat in the car, like at the time, like that wasn't. I didn't think anything of that other than just
Mm,
like, yeah, I probably am like fucking myself a bit. But like looking back, like you were probably like, mate, fucking hell, like sort your shit out. You know what
yeah.
I mean? But you didn't. You might have said it like that, but
No,
like,
I was you were too far gone at that point. I couldn't have been if I had just been like, mate, you fuck, sort it out. You'd have been like, fuck off. Like you would have like got your back up a little bit. But it was like more so like, come on, Finn, like do this differently. You need to do
yeah,
this because you look shit, and trying to like word it in a nicer way. But yeah, it's a weird one, that sort of like prep bubble that it kind of gives you because it definitely has a knock on effect. And like for you, I definitely say that as well. Like other areas, like training wise, like I definitely saw like a lot of like not negatives, but you were definitely not like at all present in the gym for a good amount of time. Like it was like no matter what, you'd just be a bit like, yeah, so I could almost tell like you didn't really want to be there, but you were there just to be there.
mate, for months.
Yeah,
Probably the last few months of the prep, and probably a good. Well, there was that point in the prep where I started training with you again,
yeah,
and it was like be modified and stuff, and that was good.
yeah,
But before that, for like a probably I wouldn't say months, maybe a month.
yeah,
Like after the FitX show, before the A1, that was like when I kind of like battered myself. Then it was like,
mm,
oh, I came out of it a little bit, and then kind of just rode the wave of like not battering myself as much, not doing. I think I literally cut out cardio,
yeah,
was eating more, etc. Like doing more things outside of just bodybuilding, like going out and doing stuff. And I was like riding the high off that, and then like that kind of dwindled away to the point where I was like, well, I'm still very lean and I'm still trashed.
yeah,
Yeah, even though I didn't do cardio for months, mate.
yeah,
Like literally after that A1 show, I didn't do cardio.
yeah.
Like that was it. It was like, no, I'm not doing it.
No wonder you got beat on condition at the UK FBA.
I didn't get
I
beat
bet
on
what is
condition.
the guy with more detailed rec fems?
Charlie,
I bet he
yeah,
was
I
doing
don't think
cardio.
he.
I bet Charlie
I
was
don't,
doing cardio. I bet
I don't
Charlie
think he
was
beat me on
doing
just
cardio.
condition. He just beat me on shape and
I bet
musculature.
Charlie was doing cardio, thinking Finn ain't fucking putting this work in, pussy.
I had like trauma from cardio.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, like I can't remember what I was saying, but like yeah, it was then like post show. Obviously, you get that bit of a boost of like enjoying training a little bit, but then
mm,
you realise you're still fucked. Like it's not like people expect, and I again learned this from the first prep. Remember when we were training at Shahid's,
yeah,
and like after my first prep, like I think the first session, I was like, yeah, let's do this, and then that's when I fucked my shoulder the first time on the
yeah,
dumbbell press. I've not really done a dumbbell press ever since.
yeah,
Like I've learned from that, so I knew that training wasn't going to be like incredible.
mm,
Um, but saying all of this, like I just did what I needed to do anyway. You know what I mean? Like if I'd have actually listened to how I felt, I would have stopped training. You know what
yeah.
I mean? I've stopped bodybuilding. I'd have stopped coaching. I'd have
Mm.
stopped like everything. Like
I would
because
hope so. I would have,
I'm gonna listen to how I felt.
yeah,
No, but legit, like I didn't want to train. I didn't want to coach. Like I
yeah,
didn't want to, do those kind of things. Like, but I also knew that I did. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
knew that wasn't me. It wasn't like I hate this. It was like I'm just very, very mentally battered. Like
yeah,
that. I knew it wasn't me thinking that. Because like now, how I feel, training's like the best part of my day.
yeah.
Getting back to clients, especially clients that are doing like amazing. It's like this is fucking great. This is what I love doing. Like things that I've got planned, big things coming. That's really exciting.
Big things are
Like,
coming.
just need one second. Let me just put that on my story.
Yeah, big things
Um,
coming.
that's it. Like that kind of stuff is exciting. So like this is to anybody who is feeling that because it's literally like the end of the season now,
Just
or
carry on.
anybody
Just
who
keep.
has felt that. Like no, but it's like literally it's very easy to just go like, no, this isn't for me.
Yeah,
Especially if your results aren't what you want.
yeah,
Like I luckily enough got a good result at the end, but it still didn't make a difference. You know what I mean? Like it probably did. If I'd have come, let's say, like, you know, if I hadn't have placed at the WMBF at all, or if I'd have not got like a place in any show, let's say, like, yeah, it probably does make a big difference how you feel. But also, it could be the opposite. Like, you could not place and then be like, fucking hell, I need to be a lot better, and people will manage their off season better. Likewise, you could win everything, and people are like, I'm the fucking dog's bollocks, I'm going to slack off. Like, for me, I don't think it was either of those. It was more so I'm just so battered that like I resented the whole thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I think it's probably a good time to maybe chat a little. Well, we probably could have chatted about that over the past few months anyway. I think we have done bits and bobs, but like I think people think that there's something wrong with them if they don't love bodybuilding after a prep. You know what I mean? But then what people do is they give up, they stop bodybuilding and they bash it. Like, bodybuilding is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
This is what it did to me. Like, I could literally, mate, I could do a post saying, my bodybuilding prep ruined my relationship.
Yeah.
This did this. You know what I mean? It's like, well, like in some aspects, you can look at it like that.
You can do that about anything. Relationship with food, relationship with training, relationship with your girlfriend.
Yeah. Like, you could.
Yeah.
But then also, I could do a post saying, bodybuilding fucking built my career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, bodybuilding's done so many positive things for me. I've met so many positive people. Like, we're going to be doing some really cool things, big things coming, because we both got into training. Like, there's so many positives.
We're only doing the big thing coming. You're doing big things.
I know, mate. I'm just full of big things.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
my
just a big thing. Big things. It's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got a big thing. I've got a big thing. I've got a big thing soon.
Yeah.
And then we've got a big thing.
Yeah, we got a big thing. And it's coming soon, believe it or not.
Keep your eyes peeled. And then the eyes emoji.
Yeah, the eyes emoji, yeah. Or like, what did you do the other day? Like, zoom in on like a certain bit. Like, yeah. Clever, mate. Clever marketing, bro. I guarantee no one paid attention, but like, people do it.
Mate, the amount of likes I got on that story.
Yeah, what, like 6?
No, like, honestly, like, probably like 20, 30.
Really?
I'm getting loads of likes on stories now that I'm not resharing them all. I've had to tell my clients. I've spoke to my clients. Whenever my clients tag me, I send them a voice note and I say, thank you for tagging me. Please keep tagging me. But I'm just not resharing as many because my stories end up being like 30, 40 long and nobody cares.
Is that what you've been doing? Is this, who told you this?
Well, it's just, you can see that it's what people do. Anybody who, like, is trying to launch something or get a little bit more, like, traction on their story on the social media, that's what they do. Like, my stories, I'm happy to say, like, my stories would literally get, like, 500, 600 views. I've got, like, 20 odd thousand followers. No, I've got, like, 19,000 followers. Yeah. I should be getting more views than that, but because I'm constantly sharing them, like, if you were to literally post, like, 5 to 6 stories a day, not reshare any of your clients. And I know it's shit, and I literally have had to say to clients, like, I'm really sorry, I want to share it, like, but I want more eyes on my story because of this. So yeah, I literally have been doing, like, trying to do less. It's fucking hard, mate.
Because of what? A big thing coming?
Because of big things coming. Okay. Mate, it's so hard though. You know, because we're in such a, like, routine of just, you reshare the story, you post about check-ins every day, like multiple check-ins a day, post multiple training stories a day. Like, when you put a post on, you put on the stories, you do the morning ones of on this day 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I've done that for years. Not doing it is fucking hard. Like, really, I'm honestly like,
I'm gonna try. How many stories have I got right now? Oh, mate, yeah, like
this is exactly why. But nobody, like, no offense, like, if you were to, I don't know how many story watches you get, like 1,000.
1,700 on the first one.
So if you were to do, you've got what, 107,000.
Yeah.
So what, 1%? No, just over 1% of your followers watch your stories.
They're mental, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, if you were to start doing, like, what I've said, you'd probably get, like, I imagine, because mine's like doubled in the space of like 3 days. In like 3 days, yeah.
I'm so, like, I feel like I'm so out of the loop.
Like, I am. I hate all this. I honestly hate all that shit. Like, I couldn't give a fuck.
And I'm lucky that I look okay when I prep. Like, so I've got, like, no matter what, I've got content to post. And because if I would be the worst social media person ever, because I know that the people don't post as much on stories, but I thought that's just, I don't know, for whatever reason. I didn't think it was the right direction.
I don't like it. Like, I don't like thinking it in a business way, but with what I'm doing, I kind of have to now. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm changing. Like, I kind of have to think in a bit more of a business way, like, for the long term. And we do it.
What's the limit, bro? What's the limit for stories?
What? how many I'm allowed to post.
Yeah, like
I
what's
don't know. I don't have a limit. I'm just trying not to post quite as many.
okay. Fair enough. Well, I'm gonna tomorrow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try. I'll do it
Do
for.
it for do it for 3 days because I did it for one day and it didn't change, and then the second day I was like, oh shit, it's like doubled.
Okay, I'll try and so like if you post your training clips and stuff, do you not share that? Like you just post it and don't
I
post it?
just share one and I'll put like the post. Like
Wow.
it's hard work, mate. Honestly, when you're so used to posting, honestly, like I know it sounds people will be listening going, fucking hell, what are they on about? Like
Yeah.
just post what you want, and I get that, but because I'm so used to doing it, I've literally made like I've had to voice note so many clients being like, because the thing is, you do want them to share your story. You do want them to tag you as well. Still, I
Yeah.
said to them, please keep tagging me. Like I appreciate it. I don't want you to not tag me. Like it's fucking cool. Like think 5 years ago for me to be saying like, oh, I'm not going to reshare your story. I wouldn't have dreamt of not resharing a story. I'd have been like, oh my god, someone's tagged me.
I also
So
do
now to
as
not
well,
reshare it, I feel like a twat. So I
yeah,
have to say like, I'm sorry, but this is why,
yeah. I do also
because
think
of big things
in
coming.
a way, yeah, big things. I do also think as well, like again, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I definitely think like probably our clients and like how they are, like we probably do get like a lot of story tags. Like I literally just
Yeah,
check.
and also like our clients understand. So like the clients that I've messaged, they've gone, "Oh mate, no problem. I'll keep tagging you. That's really cool."
Yeah,
Like they're not going, "This guy's a dick."
yeah,
Like because of how we are and the relationships we have with our clients, I
yeah,
feel really bad.
yeah.
So,
No,
like,
you're like, fuck.
mate, they don't care. Like I just yeah. So I'm glad like that when I've messaged them, they've gone, "Oh mate, no, don't worry, that's cool." Like
Yeah,
so yeah.
I get that.
Like
Right.
I'll still share the odd one, like because obviously like it's cool, especially if you get like a client who's like let's say put up a transformation of themselves.
Yeah.
Cool, I'll share it. Like if it's like a really good one and stuff. But like I won't share someone like just tagging me in their food or you know what I mean. Like
It's weird because like Instagram's like that when it comes to stories and or what you mentioned, but I think like posts they want you to post an okay amount and TikTok and stuff. TikTok it's literally like you need to spam. Like TikTok, if you're trying to grow your TikTok, you need to post like 6 to 8 times a day, like on your page. Which is like it's mad how like the algorithms work and stuff. And as well, I know YouTube. I remember saying this like if you swear in the first 10 minutes of the video, it like isn't pushed to like a
yeah.
lot of people. Like, and why is it 10 minutes? Like, so you're after 10 minutes and 1 second, mate. We've been filming for
Oh
22
shit.
minutes. Fuck, shit, twat, fanny, whatever. Like, you're allowed to say whatever. But after 10, or something like 10 minutes, it might be 20 minutes, I don't know. But there's a certain time frame, and it's like, I get it because you obviously have to have like metrics to push certain things.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit shit when it comes to like actually just trying to be like a legit content creator because I don't like I said I don't think I'm a content creator. I just post myself, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, sound I don't care. Like,
What to be fair, what I would say though is this has actually made me post myself more.
okay,
Because I'm not just sharing everyone else's stuff. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's making me actually think like so I've posted a few more things of me talking or like little bits of me in the gym because I'm like, oh, I'll put stories of me on. Like
yeah,
because people obviously it's cool when people see how many people you're working with, but I feel like we're at that level now where people know we're coaches, people know that we have clients,
yeah,
so we don't need to share like all the time. I'll share it probably say like let's say I shared maybe 8 stories a day.
yeah,
4 of them might be like client based and 4 of them might be me like
yeah, yeah.
that kind of thing. But again, I don't think of it like that. I'm just like that's just a rough like ballpark.
Okay, fair enough. Well, mate,
Right.
we've done post prep,
I
post prep,
know.
cat introduction, post prep, and social media tips.
And I need a wee now. Can we pause it on this or not?
Nah, let's carry it. I'll go through a question, mate. You go for a wee. Like, unless the
Well,
bathroom.
let's get the questions up and then.
You give me a question, mate. You
Okay.
give me a question, and I'll answer it or ask it. Yeah, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I only
Oh, wait,
put the box
did you get
a
any
minute.
questions, bro? You put a box up like literally 10 minutes ago.
Well, because I've got so many eyes on my story now, I still got 6 questions when I put it up.
Okay, fair enough.
So, um, right, I'll let you do this and then I'll do mine when I get back. I'll think about them when I go for a wee. Top 5 favourite bits of kit.
Ooh, good question. It'd be good if I had a spreadsheet with my favourite bits of kit for something in the future, which would be cool. Top 5 favourite bits of kit. Now, I would say, it's a hard one. I feel like I need Finn here to be like bouncing ideas off. I'd say if I was to choose like one specific range, I think like Nautilus Nitro are like probably the top tier for like pin loaded equipment in my opinion. But would I have any of them as like a number one? Probably not. I'd say like a Cybex Smith would be like definitely one of the things that I'd be like, yeah, non-negotiable. Like Cybex Smith, so versatile, can literally do anything on it. So Cybex Smith would definitely be probably like one or two. I'd say otherwise, Cybex squat press if I could actually train legs. Just because again, like versatility in the sense of like the profile, how it is, low potential progression. Like it's not that challenging to brace against like some 45-degree leg presses. So I'd probably say that. Shame they're fucking so rare, like and like their Cybex have been discontinued, because like I said, if it was possible on the spreadsheet, I'd definitely like want to be putting that on there soon for a fucking project in the future, which would be cool. Otherwise, I like the Strive like pin loaded row is really nice, and the Strive shoulder press and incline press, probably like some of my favourite bits. Prime leg extension, pin loaded, fantastic, really really good bit of kit.
Oh
Finn,
yeah.
so far, oh mate, oh, wow, it's past 8 o'clock. Blue light.
Are they mine? You've still got mine.
No mate, these I think the ones I gave you were mine, and you've lost yours.
No, I think Amy's got mine.
Really?
I think so, yeah, because obviously they would have been in that room.
Okay, I might message her and say that to her. I don't know. Okay, anyway, I said so far Cybex Smith. Funny that I mentioned that. Also said Cybex squat press. So that's so rare. Be wicked to see in the future because for a project that we've spoken about a lot. That'd be one. We mentioned. I said Strive row is cool. Shoulder press, incline press, pretty cool. Prime leg extension, fantastic. Probably best leg extension there is. Pin loaded one. I said. Otherwise, I hadn't mentioned anything. So anything you want to chip in on? I do think a Cybex Smith is like, in my opinion, probably like number one.
I would say, yeah, Cybex Smith is good. The Strive chest press, that's not the super incline, like the more of a flat one.
Oh, really? Do you prefer that to the incline one?
I really like that one. Yeah, the flat one. It's not quite fully flat; it's slight
No, no,
incline.
no. Fair enough. Yeah.
Um, what else? Nautilus shoulder press.
What, the nitro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said at the start, actually, I don't know if you heard when you walked off. If I was to say one like range of kit, I think Nitro, like Nautilus, is like you can't really go wrong with it. Like it's very sturdy, really smooth, feels really good.
Yeah. Only thing is, it's just all very, very short and dominant,
Yeah.
but it's not really a problem.
No.
Um, um, I really like the old Cybex leg press. You know, the linear one,
Yeah.
not the one before the one at Progress Works, the
Yeah.
one that they've got at Elevate that
Yeah.
he got rid of, and then you think he wants it back. I'm not sure. He didn't sell it. He just didn't have it in the gym. He changed it for
Oh,
the
really?
Nitro. Yeah, it's so good. Like
Yeah, it's class.
they've got it at the coach. Like I
Yeah.
honestly think that is probably the best leg press.
Yeah.
That's really good. What else? Jim Lecco, like the Jim Lecco linear leg press, we like that. The
Yeah.
Jim Lecco hip press, we like that.
Yeah. I'd say the 45 is like actually like a very good bit of kit. I really get on with that.
Yeah, I've been using the hip press the last few weeks. It feels fucking great. Like I feel like I've got the setup really good. I'm using my squat shoes on it.
Okay.
Feels good single leg or dual leg as well.
Mm.
So yeah.
Any other bits?
Huh?
I'd say, mate, the Strive Preach curl that I've used at Apollo, like that's really really nice. Like really smooth.
It is. I just I've got a bit of bicep tendonitis on my right side, so like when I've been using that, I've not been able to use it because it's just been a bit painful.
I'd also say as well, like the Cybex row, like I think any Cybex row, VR2, 3, 1, whatever. I'd probably say in that order, 3, 2, 1, or two. No, sorry, 2, 3, 1. That would be my order that I'd probably go with. I think the three's more, you know, the one at Progress. That's a little bit more like lat bias, and it diverges instead of converges. And then the 2 and the 1 are a little bit more like straight, but they feel like they're for like a pin loaded row. I don't think like a chest supporter you can get really much better. And then, to be fair, that Jim Lecco T-bar that I use actually felt better. So there's a new Jim Lecco T-bar at Ultraflex Derby, and it's slightly more like almost, how would you describe it? Like it's more like actually bent over than the usual one that we've used like at Apollo and stuff. Like the Apollo one's more of like a T-bar, where this almost feels like a tiny bit of like what you call
Steel row.
steel rope. Yeah, it feels a bit more like
You
Horizontal?
prefer that to the
No,
pre-core?
vertical.
Or?
Vertical. I think it's comparable, to be fair. I do like the pre-core because I think it's just like a very perfect T-bar because you've got obviously the two different handles. You've got a simple sort of setup. You literally just row, and the pad is enough to the point where it doesn't
I
crush your
like
sternum.
the pre-core.
Yeah, it doesn't crush your sternum, and it's like it's almost a case where you can be a bit sloppy with it as well. Like some T-bars, like the Gym Echo, you can't really be.
Yours aren't very sloppy.
Mate, mine's clean as anything. No, but it's one of those where you actually get benefit from actually just moving the weight aggressively. I think there's certain T-bars, like the Jim Lecco one, granted, it's because the one that we've used is not glued to the floor. But like,
Yeah,
but
I
like,
did like one rep, didn't I? And then
yeah,
just slid.
yeah,
It's
and
like,
like if you were doing like fucking 4 plates, and granted, like again, it could be nailed to the floor, but I don't think the setup is perfect for any body English, and on any row, if you have to be doing extremely strict form, I don't think that is correlating to a great like machine, in my opinion, like for a row.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, go on. Your question.
£1 for every dadler up your bum. How rich would you be?
I don't put them on my bum. They're too nice. I have to eat them all.
Okay, fair enough. A dadler is a date for people that don't have Finn's obsession
Everybody
with
knows.
dadlers. No.
Jess didn't know. She thought they were different things.
Really?
She was like, "What's a dadler?" Like she was like, "What's the difference?" I was like, "No, it's just the name that they have in Denmark."
I didn't know. Didn't even know FitFin UK, mate. She's not an OG follower. She's not like.
Obviously not. Obviously
No.
not.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I wouldn't put any daddlers in my bum.
You wouldn't. How many
No,
could you if you were to if it was a challenge?
20.
Fair enough. First. So you'd be 20 quid up. Poor effort. I wouldn't. If I'm getting 20 quid, I wouldn't put anything on my ass.
No,
Personally, a bit more. I'm open to offers, right?
25.
Yeah. Oh mate, off topic. This is funny. I was speaking to Jacob earlier about setting himself up as like a business to like invoice me, and so I was paying him, and I mentioned a few things to him, and he sent me a voice note being like really serious. So like made me actually laugh out loud. He was like, "Hey mate, yeah, I don't know about this obviously tax thing. I don't have to pay tax. I took a BBC when I was 18, and as long as I take one once a year for the rest of my life, I don't need to pay taxes. Is that not how it works?" But he said it so sincerely. So like I was like, what? He's not paying tax? And he goes, "Oh, BBC. Yeah, took a BBC when he was 18."
That would be great if it
Yeah,
was
that'd be
the
so
case.
good. I mentioned it to Jakob earlier, and he said once a year would push it, but he probably would. I was like once a month. He was like, "Nah, no chance." And I was like, "Pussy."
I reckon once every 6 months to once every quarter.
Yeah, every time I have to pay like a VAT return, like so every 3 months. Sound cool.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you've got that option and you go, right, you got to pay this or they, I'll be like, "Ah, just do me.
yeah, do it.
Just go
Sound.
on. I'm just
Yeah,
bent over waiting."
yeah, yeah. Right. Come on, mate.
Um, Shay has asked, so Shay, one of my clients, is your quad injury a cover up for you deciding to go men's physique? No. However, like, because my leg training is, the thing is, my leg training's fine, but it's not amazing. And my left quad, there is definitely a proper underlying issue. So my legs aren't really developing at the level of my upper body, which is therefore why I'm not showing my legs at the minute. But the weird thing is, my left, well, it's not that weird. My left quad is bigger. And I think this is, and my left side of my body is bigger. And I think this is what a lot of the issue is that structurally my left side is taking a lot of the load on a lot of movements. So it's growing more, but it's also trashed
Yeah,
all the time. Like my whole left side of my body is battered. The only part of my left side that's smaller is my back because of the scap issues.
yeah,
So it's like my left delt arm quad are bigger and my right lat is bigger. So it's a really nice balance.
yeah, yeah. What about testicles? You got a bigger testicle?
I haven't got any testicles.
Okay, same. That's fine.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule out the next time I compete, I might be doing men's physique.
Nah, mate. It's I don't know. It's one of those like I don't think. I think even though you've got good delts and arms, and I think if it was a shit lineup, I think you'd be okay. I don't think your structure is like.
I think if I was to properly be like, right, I'm doing men's physique and I'm tailoring my training around it, I think I could be decent.
I
I'm not
think
saying
you'd
I'd
be
be
decent. No,
amazing.
but I don't think you'd be any better. I think like, as a bodybuilder, you'd actually be like if you were peaked, like and I don't mean peak like peak to perfection. I mean in the way of like peak FK bodybuilder, I think your ceiling is a bit higher personally. I don't think the floor is any different now. I'd say you're probably going to be sound because like I think you'd be okay in both, not amazing but not shit. Like I think you'd be pretty sound, but I wouldn't be like going all in on like because I think if you were to max out your frame for men's physique, I don't think you're an amazing men's physique guy. I think you'd just be like decent, good, like which is cool if you wanted to be that. I think bodybuilding wise, if you had like another 3 to 5 years of tissue, I actually think you'd be like actually pretty fucking good. Like WMBF pro standard, I
It's
think you'd
more
probably be
so
up.
like injury based things.
Yeah.
That's what's frustrating. Like my literally sat here right now, my left quad is constantly in pain. Like
Mm.
there's like a heartbeat and it's just pulsing all the time. And my left side of my back is constantly in pain. Like my back is burning now.
Alright, mate. Sorry.
I can't remember the last time I wasn't in pain.
Okay, mate. Sorry. Euthanasia exists in Sweden. Just please. If you want to cut out your misery, mate, just go to Sweden. Oh fuck! That's why
But
you were going to go to Denmark, Copenhagen this weekend. Pretty sure
that's
euthanasia
not.
exists there.
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can work around it. I'm not really like obviously I'm like complaining, but I'm kind of jokingly complaining. Like I can work around it, but
Yeah.
it's not obviously it's not 100%. Like I can't just go in and just like have fun with a leg session and be like, oh yeah, let's just do that. Like no, I know that's going to hurt and like not in a good way. Like that's not going to be like it's going to cause issues and it's going to flare it up. Like I can't properly do a deadlift. That's why I'm doing the belt machine.
Mm.
I can't do really any kind of like I can do a glute drive, but I'd rather do a hip thrust with my foot like flat because anything that's like creating like friction against my foot, it just aggravates it. So yeah, I'm just having to work around it.
Fair enough. And you got a chronic injury there, mate. So just
Yeah,
so
I
in
know.
case you didn't know, your scan told you got a chronic injury.
Yeah.
Right, seems to be a lot of money questions. Each pill worth 500k. 1,000 pills, one pill out of 1,000 is guaranteed to kill you. How many you taking? All 1,000. I just want my life to end.
What? How many? Go on, say it again.
Okay, each pill's worth 500k. There's 1,000 pills, and one of the pills is guaranteed to kill you. How many pills are you taking?
Still worth 500k.
That's what I say. Like, that's a lot of
There's a
money.
thousand pills. I don't need that many. I'd
No.
take the risk of having like I don't know 5.
Yeah, I'd do 10. I'd be like 10. That's literally a minimal percent. Like, I'm cool. You know.
But it's hard until you actually do that. But I think I'd be able to at least. I'd do 5 in one go and just be like,
Yeah, no, but you can't do five again. Like you've got to choose and lock it in. Let's say that. Like you can't do five and go, I'll do three more. Like you got to do just
yeah.
one answer. I do 10.
What? So you got 5 mil,
Yeah, 5 mil, 1% chance of death. Sick.
mate? You could do more than that.
Oh mate, I know, but I'm always thinking like it's like rob a bank. If you said to somebody, you rob a bank, you've got a 1% chance of dying, but you get 5 mil. Anyone's robbing that bank. Like every person is going to rob that bank. You know, if you're not going to get caught, like 1% chance of death or getting caught and locked up and getting done by a BBC in a weird prison, like probably every night, not every year, but like most people would take like
1% for 5 mil. 1% chance of death for
yeah,
5 mil. You'd be
100%.
like, yeah.
10 mil, 2%. That scales up. When does it get to the point where you go, I can't do that? Like, because I don't think, do you need any more than 10 mil? Like, as much as, I think a mil isn't actually, I think a mil's quite overrated. I think if a million was to be, like, injected into our bank accounts, we'd be like, okay, cool, I'd still need to work. Like, 10 mil, 20 mil, I think 10 mil, I'd be like, okay, I'm pretty sound. Like, I'm not stupid enough to the point where,
And do we get taxed on
no, no, because it's going to
it?
be,
We get taxed on it.
no, you
I'll
don't,
take all the pills.
yeah. Good one, mate. Right, your question.
So we've got 2 questions based around what happened with Jack Kinsey and the pro card. So
Oh,
we're not going to discuss it because Jack
what
is
was,
actually coming on
what
the
was the
podcast.
question?
Just thoughts on it. Literally, that was it.
No,
Thoughts.
let's give a brief
No,
analysis.
no, because Jack's coming on Thursday.
Yeah, I know, but what straight up, let's just say flat out, agree, disagree, bit stupid. What do you reckon?
Disagree. I think it's bullshit.
First, yeah, I think there's some aspects where it makes sense, but I think on a lot of bases it's a bit
I
stupid.
don't think it makes sense. You can't win 2 pro cards. You've already won one.
Yeah, I get that.
That makes no sense.
But no, we won't get
You
into.
literally had 2 pro cards at the end of the show. Like that should not be a thing.
I get that, but it's unfortunately fucking shit rules. And if you are the best on the day in that class,
But he wasn't as well.
you don't think?
No.
Okay, I haven't. Have you seen like actual? Have you seen
No,
like?
I've seen a few photos, but
Yeah, 'cause I've seen a few, and I can see why they went for it. But I don't think he should have went. If it's classic, no chance. I don't think bodybuilding. Yeah, he beats Jack, but I don't think classic bodybuilding. He didn't look at all better classic wise, but I don't know.
we'll chat about that on Thursday.
Yeah. Right. Hi, mate. Bit long for for the box. I'll send you a DM from Mr. Akopcha himself.
Are
Hi.
we actually going to do this one?
Yeah. Why
Okay.
not? Hi, Reese and Finn. Just a question for the pod. Have you ever coached any transgender males? I love training bodybuilding and probably outing myself here, but I'm trans. Mate, I had no idea. Like, wouldn't have guessed that after a message. Like, just asking about my friend who's trans. My T levels are out of the average male, or out of an average male, so no real advantage there. So I'm guessing obviously testosterone's within like physiological range for a male. I still have some estrogen, though testosterone overpowers it. I am like into my third year of my second puberty, so very early days, and I definitely need more muscle. I would be interested in competing, but I don't know if I could be in a natty category because taking testosterone, I take no performance enhancing drugs, so I wouldn't want to go enhanced because would be massively under par compared to the majority of competitors. Any advice is greatly appreciated. Mate, that's not a bad question. So, is somebody who's, let's say, just taking external testosterone, transgender or not, like TRT, is that natural?
No.
No, unfortunately not. So even
Yeah,
though
it's
you're
just
within a
based on.
physiological range, you're not going to be able to compete within like you'll probably be able to compete at two bros, don't care. Like unless you're really good. And just if not, just do 3 years. Do like five puberties. You're on your second right now. Do five puberties. Get like pretty fucking jacked, and then just come off for 3 years. But no, in all aspects, and like not trying to like obviously make a joke out of a pretty serious question. Unfortunately, you won't be able to compete within natural federations. Like, and obviously, I do think as well, you obviously would compete within the male classes. I personally don't really know anyone who's open about being transgender within bodybuilding. That like is at the amateur levels that are like within our sort of circles, which is a bit of a shame. But I also think as well, like unfortunately, with a lot of like obviously transgender people, I'm not going to assume because I don't want to get myself in trouble. It's 2024, but I definitely think there is a case where I'd like to imagine they probably have some body image issues growing up, probably thinking that obviously wanting to be the different gender and all that sort of stuff, and as a result. I think bodybuilding is something that probably isn't going to help those body image issues, and that's usually why it doesn't coexist. It's usually a case where they've got their own sort of problems. They probably don't need to add bodybuilding to the concoction of self-image and being judged upon your visual when you're probably were a bit confused growing up about stuff. I imagine. I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful there. Don't feel like I've got in trouble. Have I been?
All right. I'm surprised for you. Like you've
Yeah.
actually been quite PC about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I would say, like unfortunately, yeah, you cannot compete naturally, unless you were to like not take test for again 3 years. You could do two bros 7 years. I think it is for UK FBA. 10 years it is for WMBF. Like, do you really want to do that? Like, just focus on training because you enjoy training.
Also,
Like,
I want to say, I imagine, would you, even though obviously from a testosterone standpoint, like, as a female, you don't return back to really a baseline. Like you're not going to revert back and go back to a female. You know, if you were to stop taking testosterone, this is just out of curiosity. Does it just? I'm guessing you just pause. Like you don't continue to virilize. Like you would just like stay at the same rate. Like you wouldn't go back to because it's almost impossible to reverse it. So you wouldn't go back to being a female. So like, what would you? Would you just be like a really low testosterone male who was a female? Like, do you know what I mean? That's why I'd be almost like if they were to do 3 years natty. You know.
I don't know how it would work, to be honest. Like, I again, it's one of those. If you're really, really dying to compete, like, there's so many federations that you could compete in, like that obviously aren't natural federations. And he was saying like, oh, I don't want to go enhanced and do those federations because I'll be so off par. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the natural shows are better.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not me just saying that. Like, they are. Like, if you were to go to, for example, let's say the WMBF finals this year versus a random FitX show, the WMBF finals is way better. Like
Yeah.
the standard is way, 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 way higher. So you could compete. Of course, you could compete. You're just probably not going to be that competitive, maybe at the highest level of the enhanced ranks, and that's fine. Like you don't have to go into that if you just want to
There's
compete.
loads of shows
You
like FitX is
do it.
probably a decent standard in comparison. Go do like
Yeah, yeah. That was just a random example. I know you
local,
like.
yeah, local show that's gonna have 20 people in. Like, do that. Like, do a photo shoot. Let's see how you look, and you'll probably know where you fall. And And I will say as well, as much as people say, "Oh, my test is like physiological," it's literally proven if you're like taking external testosterone, you don't like go up and go down. Your levels are stable. So as let's say as a natural male, like Finn for example, when he was sleeping poorly and crying every night, his test would have been tanked. It was tanked anyway. Like just Finn in general, just low test, and that's the reason why he was crying. He needed testosterone, but your test is going to dip up and down based off stress, lifestyle factors, sleep, diet, etc. As much as you might still be within physiological ranges of testosterone, it will still be, or physiological ranges for a male, superphys for a female, you'd still be within a position of some form of advantage when it comes to how your hormones would work, because it doesn't matter if you don't sleep, your hormones stay the same, like, and it's going to be consistent, and the body likes consistency. So I would almost look upon that and think, like, I can guarantee you have two versions, let's say of Finn, 20 nanomole test. What was the last time you did your test? Was that 18, wasn't it, around there?
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 nanomole test natural, or 18 nanomole test taking 100, I don't know, 100, probably let's say 100 to 125 milligram of test a week. I guarantee the second version would be a lot better in every single aspect regarding performance. So one of those sort of things. That's the reason why I don't think it should be allowed within natural bodybuilding, unfortunately. So, yeah.
Cool.
Mate, we didn't get ourselves cancelled. Wow.
We might have done.
Yeah,
We don't know. Sorry if we did.
When you said about shows, I was like, Mr. Gay England would be sound for this, wouldn't it?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, fuck, done it. Sorry,
Nearly.
sorry, I got
Did
you.
so well.
Yeah.
Should have just said that, yeah. You can do Mr. Gay England.
No, Mr. Gay, you'd be fine. You'd be wicked in Mr. Gay.
Right. If I can, should I train from more than one gym for a change of scenery? Similar kit, different vibe.
Yeah, if you want. Like, I think environments, like, as much as we've always preached, environment is in your head, and it is. I definitely think you can get a bit of like cabin fever in the sense of like being in the same place, seeing the same sort of people, getting a bit too familiar with the people in the gym, and it gets to a point where it's challenging to fully lock in and actually get after your session. So going to a gym, different vibes, not knowing people, like even like the back ends of prep, I fucking love training in a gym where I'm not known as much, so I can just go in and train. When it comes to going to the same gym every single time, seeing the same faces, if you don't start off productively and you're at like a peak of a phase, I think it can have a bit of a knock-on effect. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of it, to be fair.
I think we've always had like multiple gyms on the go. Like, there's been points where we've maybe been like, right, yeah, we're pretty settled in this gym, but even now and again, we'd still be like, oh yeah, we need to do this, or oh, I'm seeing a client, so I'm training here. Like, even though I'm living here, I'll train at Rezo most of the time, but then if I'm up near you, like I'll train at Derby again for a couple of days. Like, again, like the kit's very, very similar. And I think, probably in the past, we'd have been like so obsessed that every single movement has to be the same. Whereas now, like, we know the main movements. So like, for example, if I have a bent over row and I'm training at Rezo or Ultraflex or B modified, or like, it doesn't matter. If I've got a Smith press, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it might be a different Smith, but like I can still train fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing. Like, I don't need to be stressing myself out being like, oh no, it's not this exact Smith that I usually would use.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to be the difference maker in you making progress or not. Like, which exact Smith you use every week. Yeah, it's nice to get some momentum building and doing the same thing on a weekly basis, but you are still doing a Smith press. You are still doing a T-bar row. Yeah, it's a different one, whatever, but like, you can still put tension through a muscle and train really hard. Like, whatever gym you're really in. Like, we could make plenty of progress training out of a pure gym. Like, we'd probably have some fun with it. We'd probably have a really good first few weeks because like, this is different. Like, usually with something new brings more enjoyment. But what you don't want to do is like chase that enjoyment and be like, oh, I went to this gym for like a week and then I didn't like it, so now I'll change to this.
And then it's
have a program. Same if you have a different program every week. Have a program and try and sort of get the sessions set to different like days. It might be, I'll do these 3 sessions here and these 2 sessions here, and now and again you might have to change because you're traveling or whatever. That's fine. Like, we've had loads of times where we'll have like 3 sessions at, well, we did 2 sessions at Evo, 2 sessions at Rotherham, and like 1 session at Premier or something. Like for months.
Yeah.
And then you're only going to the same place a couple of times a week, so it doesn't feel like you just live there.
Yeah, I agree. Right, Will Holmes has asked, question for the Once You're In podcast, but too long for the question box. From a muscle growth standpoint, naturally, is it best to start weaker, so there's almost a greater runway for progression and maybe less chance of injury? or start stronger, where potentially you have greater proportion of type 2 muscle fibers. So in short, is it better to start weaker or stronger from a muscle growth standpoint, considering both are going to failure?
So start lighter or heavier, he means.
Um, I'm not too sure. Like, it says start weaker, so I would have to be fair, he sent this through earlier. I probably should have asked him. Do you reckon he means it in the way of like, if you were, let's say, playing rugby, you did some training like in your
Yeah, so let's say you're somebody who's never stepped in the gym versus
Yeah.
somebody who's like, been athletic.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd always say, mate, genetic wise, like people that
yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like it's down to genetics. Like the first one, whoever's not stepped in the gym before, they might make ridiculous progress because they might be genetically elite. They've just not tried anything yet.
Yeah.
Likewise, you could be genetically elite and you've played rugby and you've done like maybe some powerlifting and stuff, and then you get into bodybuilding, you're already a fucking bit of a freak. Then yeah, you're gonna make great progress because you've already got a good amount of muscle anyway. I don't think it really. What I would say is like you don't have the choice anyway. So there isn't a better or worse because you don't have the choice. You know what I mean? Like starting weaker or starting stronger, like you don't really have the choice.
No.
Like when I was 14, I think, when I first went to the gym, like I was pretty athletic, I was lean, I played football, but I was tiny, like really, really, really skinny.
What was the
Like
first lift you remember doing? Like where was your
like a
baseline?
4 kilo dumbbell press, like, and being like, like, honestly, I remember it being like all over
I
the place.
remember going from the nines, like, because they did like 1, 2, 3s to 10s, silver, like female dumbbells, like silver plastic ones or whatever. And they were literally like by the elastic machines. And I used to like pick them up and walk them to the benches. And I'd only go on the benches when there was no one in there. Like it was like, if there was more than like one person there, I would not go by the free weights. I'd be like, no, not
It's
doing it.
crazy that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Thinking like
yeah, it
now.
is. And I remember like getting the nines, and I remember the first time that I did them for like, I don't know, I think I probably did 12 reps because it was like I can't go heavier unless I get 12. And then realizing I don't need to like go, don't have to carry over like my actual set. I can just get them from the actual dumbbell rack, which was by the benches, because they started on the 10s, and I was like, oh my god, I've made it. And that was like the first sets that I remember, like I was like happy. And like,
Imagine doing like a 9 kilo dumbbell press now.
I
It's
honestly feel
crazy.
like my arms weigh 9 kilos. Like doing that, like that's the same weight. Like it doesn't like it's hilarious to think of. I remember on my 14th birthday, I pressed a plate per side on the Smith for a set of 10, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm strong." Which I mean, 14 years of age, like doing a plate per side like for 10, I was like, "Oh, sick!" Like, I remember I wanted it for 10, and then before my 16th birthday, I got 3 plates on a flat bench, and I was like pretty happy with that, and that was like another goal. But like I used to only really have like pressing goals like that I used to like work on. I do like loads of volume work for like legs, and like I never used to do rows or anything. And I deadlift like whenever I didn't play football that week and my back felt okay. So I'd do it, and then I'd play football the next day and be like, oh, I'm not fucking deadlifting again. Fuck that. So yeah, it was funny.
What was the actual question? Oh, about being weaker or stronger when you start. Yeah, I don't think you really have a choice, to be honest. I think if
No.
it's just based on your genetics and what you've done beforehand. I wouldn't be saying to someone, "Oh, hold off the gym for 5 years,
Yeah.
mate. You want to start weaker and then carry on." Like, you know what I mean? I'd just be like, just train, and you'll start where you start. There's some people who will go in and be like, "What do you mean you did the?" Like, I honestly remember doing like the 4 kilo dumbbells,
Yeah.
and my mates like having to spot me. Like, there'll be some people who would never have to do that because they'll be just like big lads. Like, I was just really small.
I
I
want
was
to
like,
know Will, for example, like, 'cause obviously I've coached Will, and he is like one of the strongest 17-year-olds that I've probably ever seen. Like, I'd like to know, like, Will, if you watch this, mate, which I'm guessing you will do, like, where was your strength when you started? Like, what were you doing within the first,
yeah,
like,
like it wouldn't surprise me if Will,
yeah,
when he first went in the gym, like picked up the 20s and did a press.
yeah, that's what
I
I'm thinking.
mean,
Yeah,
he was just like, oh yeah, like I legitimately was doing the fours because
yeah,
I was just skin and bone, like, and I still am.
skinny Finny.
Yeah. Last question from me. This is from Jack Hazel. So he's asked, are anaphylactic shocks anabolic or catabolic? I think he just wants us to talk about him.
Okay, carry on, mate.
So
You were it,
I'll
man.
talk about you, Jack. So basically, Jack went to Paris with his girlfriend. Jack's got a severe nut allergy, and he went to a hot chocolate place and asked like, "Is there anything I can have? Like, I have a bad nut allergy. Like, is there anything I can have?" And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, you can have this. You can have this." turns out that it had nuts in it, so he had a bad anaphylactic shock. Which, like, obviously I'm making light of it, but like legit, he could die. Like, it's bad. So I think it might have been like, was it Friday? No, yeah, he's checking. Sorry, his check-in's Friday. So he checked in on Thursday, and like he sent me a photo of him like with his face like swollen up and his tongue out like that. And he still checked in. So Thursday night he was like, "Hey mate, I'm in the fire engine." So he got a fire truck because there wasn't an ambulance. Apparently it was quicker. He got a fire truck to A&E. He was like, "I've just been in the fire truck. Here's some photos." He's like, "I just thought I'd check in and let you know what's going on." So I just messaged him like, "Man's just had an anaphylactic shock and he's still checked in on time." Like, and he put, "Please don't like put anything on the story because I've not told my family yet." And I messaged him back. I said, "When you look amazing on stage in 2026, I was like, I'll post this." And it's like the message of me saying he still checked in because, like, obviously like jokingly, but like you didn't need to check in, you know what I mean? But if he hadn't checked in, I'd been like, "Where the fuck's you checking?" You know what I mean? I'd have been like, "Right, right."
Well, like, how can your body, like, we literally, like, we live once, like, we're designed to just survive for like either 60 to 90 years. How can a fucking nut almost kill people? Like, it's crazy when you think like your body
Yeah,
can be like killed by a fucking peanut. Like,
yeah.
what? That doesn't make sense. I don't feel like that should be like
Well,
possible.
it's like anything. Like there's that. Obviously, that's like one of the severe allergies, but there's other allergies like that.
Yeah.
Like it's even like, mate, like a heart attack. Like, you know, you'll hear people that are like 30 with no health issues, like just have a heart attack and die. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Like, what the fuck?
And like kids like dying of like cancer, like,
Yeah, exactly. Like
yeah.
it's like you say. There's a lot of things in the world that aren't right,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
No, but I mean it in the way of like it's not where it's not right. I just don't think it makes sense. I can understand how people get cancer. I can understand why people get ate by crocodiles and stuff. Like I can understand a lot of causes of death. But like a peanut, like a thing that literally is like manifested and created on the earth, like strange, you know? Like when
Yeah.
you think about it, I don't know. I'm
So
fucking,
obviously he
I'm
had the bad
allergic to not being
reaction.
locked in, bro. I'm allergic to not being locked in, mate. That's what it is. This
Yeah.
winter arc. Yeah, this winter
And
arc.
then you end up having a anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, if I don't.
That's what happened to me when my sleep wasn't great and I was crying every night. But my body just knew I wasn't on it, so I just had like a really bad shock.
Yeah.
No, so he had EpiPen administered with the adrenaline, and then
Oh,
he was fine
where did they put the adrenaline? Like,
in his quad.
okay, fair enough.
And then he was, well, I say he was fine. Went to hospital, stayed there for I think like the night, and then the next day he was okay. So they let him out. Then he went out for food, and it happened again. Not he didn't eat another nut.
What?
No, it didn't. It's a second wave. So like, if you start eating again, your body like rejects it because there's still poison in your system. So basically that happened, and apparently the second one is like the worst one, and it's like a silent killer. People don't know about it. And I was like, imagine that. Like, let's say you're a doctor who knows that happens, and you're like, yeah, you go, like it's fine. Like you'd say to them, wouldn't you? Like, right, be warned. Like you might have the second
Yeah.
wave. It's very common. It can be worse. So if you feel pain like in your stomach, please come back straight away.
You
Like,
know, you'd be so scared. You know, if you were like a caveman and like you obviously didn't speak English, we're before like medicine. You know, if your homie just ate a peanut and was like dead, you would be so like you would tell your whole tribe you do not eat
don't
peanuts.
eat that.
Everyone else is fine. Like everyone can eat them, but like one guy dies. It'd be the same as like, I was thinking about my knee. If this was like prehistoric times, I'm dead. I'm getting ate by a dinosaur or something. Like I am dying because I am useless. I can't walk. I can't run. I'm getting killed. And it's like, what is my option? I haven't got BPC back in 2000 BC, and I haven't got TB 500. You know, so I'm dying. Like I've not got physio. I've not got fucking movements to do. I've not got a rehab plan. Like back in the day, life would be brutal. You're just like, oh, time
But
to.
you also wouldn't have had a massive fucking inflatable to do it
No, but
on.
you're doing it on rocks, trying to escape mountain lions and stuff, trying to feed your family. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's bad. Like, you're just like, oh, guess I'm gonna die. No wonder they only lived to like 20 because everyone died. You know, eating
It is
peanuts.
crazy. Like
Yeah,
the world we live in now, how lucky we are with
yeah,
like everything. Like
yeah,
I was saying this the other day. Like I don't know how to get anywhere. I just put it in on my phone.
yeah, yeah,
Like honestly, like I would be fine. I'd just follow the map.
yeah,
I'd follow the sign. Sorry,
yeah.
but like if you were to say to me, like Loughborough to here would be sound because I've done it a lot. But like let's say if you was like, oh, like how do you drive to like if I was to try now to drive to Ultraflex Derby and I wasn't allowed to look at the signs on the road, I'd struggle.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like if I wasn't allowed to, like if I had to try and memorize it,
yeah.
like or even use a map,
Oh,
like
mate, you know Derek? We used to go to Norfolk every Christmas. Derek would like literally pull out a map
yeah,
and be like, mark it as they go, and Like going, he know exactly what roads and all these back roads. And I was
Crazy.
like, yeah, it's crazy. Right,
He just liked getting a pencil and marking.
he loves a felt tip and markers. Jack, if you don't mind, mate, please send me the photo of. I would ask Finn, but obviously it's a bit more polite if you were to send it to me. I mean, like,
It's not like awful. Like
Jack
it's not
would.
like, you know, like some way like, oh yeah, it's not like scary.
Okay, forward it to me, and Jack, hopefully you don't mind. Right, questions. I've got a fair few. Snort pre-workout for every sesh, or listen to Ronnie Coleman motivation every sesh.
Listen to Ronnie Coleman. I do that anyway.
Yeah, 100%. How has Bear adjusted to Bean spawning in? Bear has not met Bean. Bear is meeting Bean tomorrow for the Liverpool Newcastle game. My mum's coming round to watch that. I've seen the photo.
What would you do? What would you do if Bear like killed Bean?
Bean, he would eat Bean, but Bean will be terrified. We're gonna probably just introduce them and then like get Bean in another room and like separate them because Bean's scared of us. Like if we stand up, Bean is scared. She only comes to us if we're lying down on the same level as her. So yeah, would you rather? It was mate, first thing YWR. No, sorry, WYR. I was reading that for ages. Like, what is that? So would you rather? Only able to have sardines as pea sauce, protein sauce, or have raisins as carb sauce. Raisins, 100% easy carbs.
Raisins. They're not quite like dates, but they're not far off.
They're micro, like
They're in the
condensed.
same family. Yeah.
Do you taste similar?
No.
So I like raisins.
Mate, dates are incredible. Like, I don't know how anybody doesn't like them. Like, sultanas, if you like sultanas, they are shite compared to dates. Like, sultanas are awful compared to dates. Dates are literally like the nicest thing. I'm so passionate about dates.
Did Finn split with his girlfriend? What? Have you not been paying attention?
No,
No,
no.
no. Can you be
Yeah,
a...
they might be asking like what happened. Like,
No, it's just did Finn split with his girlfriend? That's the question.
yeah, but maybe they're asking if I did it in terms of like what happened. So basically,
You
Shannon
can't.
was yeah. No, like I'm not gonna like go through it all. It's very personal. Like, and there's no like bad blood or anything. Like, Shannon seemed a bit different. I was a bit like, what's going on? She wasn't very happy. I was like, this is weird. I'm not very happy either. I went on holiday, came back, and she was like, yeah, I don't want a relationship. And I was like, okay, that was it. And obviously, like, there's a lot more to it than that, but that is the sort of main sort of part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, very fucking weird. After 6 years, it was like kind of like that, very odd. But that's life.
That's life. That's life. Yeah, right. Can you be a millionaire from online coaching?
Yes,
Yeah, I'd say so.
but you won't be because you get taxed a stupid amount.
Me and Phil would both be millionaires. We'd have to pay tax. No, we wouldn't be. I mean, technically, yeah, we could be. Just give us a few years. Yeah, I think it depends really. I think like if your sole interest is to make money from coaching, like I think you'll struggle to firstly get the spot. But I feel like if me and Finn were to really like lock in, and just chase money, like and literally be really time efficient, nothing but social media content, pay people to post and comment on stuff, and like have people working for us. Like I said on another podcast that we did, if I was to stay lean year round and just post my training and topless stuff, I could easily rinse the algorithm and make a fair bit more money. And the temptation is there, like constantly. If I can't get my leg back, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna sell out. But I also think as well, like it doesn't breed like genuine sort of like income for over a long period of time, and also that genuine sort of like people get a vibe off certain people. There's a lot of people that we know that like we know they're not very good coaches. They don't go to their client shows. Like just going to client shows alone, like we could live in Dubai, pay no taxes because you don't get taxed in Dubai. We don't need to go to any client shows, and we'd be cool. We'd be sound. We'd probably earn more money because we wouldn't have to go to shows. We'd have more time for content, all that sort of stuff. But I don't think long term that
That's not why you got into it, and
not
like
why we do it. And I
we
think
wouldn't enjoy that. I'd be sat in Dubai like I want to be at the show. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
wouldn't make sense.
So yeah, could you be a millionaire? Yeah, I think would it be beneficial? I think you'd have to have so many clients, or you'd have to charge so much, or you'd have to do so many pay up front schemes. It would get to the point where the people you attract wouldn't be beneficial, and you wouldn't enjoy your job. Like I don't think it would
You'd
be.
argue, could you be a millionaire? Like, I feel like most people could be a millionaire in their lifetime if you
Yeah,
just saved really, really, really well.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if you, I don't know what exactly minimum wage is, but let's say you got paid minimum wage, and you spent like the smallest amount of money on things. You didn't have a car. You ate like the cheapest foods in the world.
Mate,
You
I don't think like minimum wage, bro, is like fucking what is it like 1,200 a month? So you're getting like let's just say 15 grand a year, bro. Like
no, I'm sure it's more than that. But yeah, like anyway, like what? Yeah, maybe not.
yeah, that's mate, that's a rich
I don't
person.
know. Let's say 20 grand, yeah,
Yeah.
right. Obviously, yeah, like life, taxes,
Yeah.
etc. But let's imagine you actually took home 20 grand a year and you
Well, yeah,
didn't
you can
spend
take
much
home
on it.
20 grand a year if you like work for somebody because you get taxed already.
So let's say 20 grand,
Yeah.
and let's say you don't spend a penny.
Yeah.
So that's what 100 grand in 5 years. So 50 years, you're a millionaire. You
It's like you have to hope
just
that
can't spend any money.
you can live in a family house and just get all your food bought and get your kittens bought for you.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, mate, that's what I said. Kittens bought for me.
Get your kittens bought for
Get
you.
your kittens bought for you. You sound.
Get your
Right.
car, your food, your kittens bought.
Food, please. Hey, mum, need another Vada Tren. You don't mind, do you?
Need another kitten, please.
Right, maximum rate of loss that you'd advise for a 3 to 4 week mini cut. SAS job, bro.
Fast as you can.
Three
Yeah.
to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks, man. You ain't gonna lose any tissue, bro. Don't be scared. Just get in, get out. Get in, get out.
SAS job.
Yeah, get in, get out.
And literally as fast as you can without sacrificing protein intake, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Because even if you like literally battered yourself, like obviously there's a line. Don't do fucking 10 hours cardio a day. Like there is a line, but like it depends as well how heavy you are.
Yeah, I could
Like
pull off fucking loads. Like
yeah,
just
exactly. Like
weight. Like if you're 60 kilos, you probably ain't gonna be pulling off like more than 20% of body weight in like a period of time.
let's
Like,
imagine somebody's 100 kilos
yeah.
and they want to put in 3 to 4 weeks, like in your like peak off season at 100 kilos.
What do you
In
reckon
three
maximum? Like what do you reckon
in
for
3 to 4 weeks, max without being fucking
yeah.
stupid, you could probably do over 10, but I
I was,
wouldn't really
I was
recommend that.
thinking
I'd
about
say
12.
like 10.
Yeah, I was thinking like 10 to 12.
10 kilos in 4 weeks isn't that difficult if you're like pushing food and you're pretty heavy. You literally reduce your food, and within 3 days you'll be at 95. Like just through not pushing food so high, and food volume being lower, and maybe going from 8k steps to 12k,
I think
and
the
doing a bit of
problem is
cardio.
people will hear that and go 100 kg to 95 in a few days. What? That's because most times people's peak off season is 3 takeaways a week, food
Yeah,
inconsistent, missing meals, not training that hard, and being slack. And then they actually lock in on a diet of 2 to 3,000 calories, and they don't drop any weight because their body's like, you have not been consistent. Like when
yeah,
you
because they didn't have a baseline anyway.
yeah, if you've been consistently eating like let's say 4, 5, 6,000 calories, if you're not dropping significant amount of weight within the first 4 to 5 days, something is going wrong. Like you
You
should,
haven't been having.
yeah, exactly.
Even
Like,
just a
you're doing
reduction in
perfect.
food volume,
Yeah,
like less food volume, less fluid retention,
yeah,
less fucking inflammation and digestive stress from not eating as much. Like you can drop off a few kilos easily.
yeah. I agree. Right, can only use 5 words for client check-ins. What 5 words are
See you next week, mate.
they?
Let's go.
Pics are fine. Catch. Oh no, pics are fine. Pics good. Catch you later.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. I
Um,
originally thought stop being a pussy, and then I was like, oh, stop being a fucking pussy. Probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of my clients messaged me earlier. Like they put like you made me chuckle at work. How to tell someone they're a fatty without telling them they're a fatty? Because like in his check-in, like probably 5 times, I was like, I definitely don't need you getting any heavier than this. We don't need to get any softer than this. We don't need to be getting any heavier or softer than this. Okay, like 5 times.
Who was it?
Sam Raj.
Oh, fair enough. It was
Does he start prep very soon?
Jacob who asked. So, if it was for Jacob, yeah, but Julian beat you. No, yeah, oh, fuck, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, but Julian beat you. No matter what, he says, yeah, but Julian beat you, mate. Yes, you might beat him in the overall, but he beat you at PCA by 1 point. I don't care. Like, Julian beat you, mate. Come on. That's enough motivation to last him a fucking lifetime, that's for sure. Send him the video where Julian went, yeah, after he won, like,
Yeah.
send him just that constantly. After anything he does well, yeah, fucking hell. Oh, yeah, that's enough motivation to last a lifetime. How would you feel about your younger clients wanting to hop on? Well, Finn would block you and like be like, "Sorry, don't coach me
Call the
anymore."
police.
Yeah, Finn, what about that? Obviously, I know you're known as like a natural coach. You know, maybe more. I don't know. Like when it comes to where things are, like what you do, natural coaching. Would you say that like do you have guys say to you like, because I have not loads, but my younger guys definitely will ask me about PDs, and I always try to advise them against it if unless they've obviously got purpose. Do you get people, or is it very much like your guys are like, no, I'm lifetime natural? You know.
No, I definitely do. Like, I've coached people who either have been on gear before or even just like TRT. But I definitely don't advise it. Like, the only time I would advise it is if somebody is really noticing like a lot of negative side effects of low testosterone, in which case I'm going to look at like lifestyle factors and ways that we can improve it. But I'm also not going to be deluded and be like, nope, you can't, you have to stay natural forever,
Mm.
especially if they have no goals within natural bodybuilding. It's like, well, you don't need to stay natural then. But yeah, if it was like usually I'll just like have a chat with them about it, and I'll be like, look, there's no pressure from me at all. Like I never say you can't do that because I don't do that or I don't recommend that. Like
Yeah.
it's literally down to the client. I would just obviously advise it and sort of try and give the pros and the cons and give like a sort of unbiased opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't really have to have that conversation that often because I feel like most of my clients are probably leaning more so towards staying natural. Not all of them. I know for sure that I'll have clients who, let's say, long term will probably be like, I definitely want to jump on.
Yeah.
In which case, then it's just a conversation to have at that time.
Yeah. I get that. The person who asked, where is it? I actually don't know. Sorry, I thought I recognised his name. Yeah, I think it depends really on the individual. Like, if I was to say, for example, because I've just mentioned Jacob, like, Jacob's somebody who his goals definitely lie within enhanced bodybuilding, and I think Jacob within natural bodybuilding could be really, really fucking good. But I also think within enhanced bodybuilding, he will be really, really good. But however, I've been saying to him for the entirety, like, he said to me a few weeks back, like, you're the only person around me, probably other than maybe his girlfriend, his mum, who are like, who's advising me not to jump on. And I was like, well, you don't need to. Like, you're growing at a really good rate. And unless that stops, why would you like limit that? Like, yes, you would grow more tissue, of course, but if you're still growing at a really, really good rate, just rinse what you can. Like, I definitely think a lot of people hop on way too quickly and they haven't got their foundation set. And like, I coach similar to Finn. Like, I'd say a large majority, not I say a large majority, a large percentage of our clients, probably more so than a lot of other coaches with our success with Jacob and with Josh and with our like junior clients and teenage clients over the last few years, probably are in the age of like 18 to like 22. And I always say, like, you need to get everything in order until that's actually going to be a decision. And also, if everything is in order, actually, what do you want out of it? If I was always going to be a second call out bodybuilder, there's no chance I'm going to be taking PEDs. If I was not making money within the fitness industry, I wouldn't have taken PEDs. If it was a case where I could see a clear pathway where it would benefit other areas, okay, I can understand and accept the side effects. But I think a lot of people just think, I want to be fucking big and jacked and therefore I'm going to take gear. And it's like, that's not how it works. It is how it works, but unfortunately, bro, it's not going to make you content. You'll actually probably get a lot worse out of it. And we've said before, so many people regret taking gear. Oh, like, so many people, because they take it for the wrong reasons.
I feel like most people that you speak to.
Yeah, most people, but then also most people you speak to aren't within the fitness industry, like, let's say, doing really well. They're not competitive within the realms that they're trying to be at, and they've almost signed themselves up for a level where they're never really going to get to those sort of like levels. Like, let's say, for example, somebody who I think clearly regrets it, and as much as he did well this year, like someone like George Osborne, very good natural, I say very good, very decent to one day really good natural bodybuilder. I know he's spoken about PDs and jumping on a bit too quick and being maybe a bit haphazard. Again, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think we've both said the same about George, and George has mentioned it before about maybe like rushing things. He might not regret things now, but I definitely think after that sort of honeymoon period of, oh, I'm fucking steroids, bro, has ran off, you think, oh, fuck, it's still the same. Like, you're still just training, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't make a massive difference. I think as well, like and this isn't like about George or about anybody, but like you you could almost like, for example, I'll use AJ. Imagine if AJ was to all of a sudden jump on gear.
Well, we are. We're going to pin him.
Yeah, but like imagine if he did it if he did it voluntarily.
Yeah.
Like his whole brand is around natural bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So like it just wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Like, even if he really wanted to do it, it just wouldn't work, or it'd have to be a big change for him in terms of like, right, this is what I'm doing and this is why. So I think as well, like, a lot of people who do get into natural bodybuilding, like they almost commit to it forever. And like I don't think you have to do that either. Like, I think a lot of people think, well, I like the natural side of it, so it's me now.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think you have to do that. But then I also think if you're not careful, you can't go back. Like, yeah, you can with the fucking two bros and shit, but like realistically, you can't go back.
No.
You know what I mean? Like anybody who's in the know, you can't go back. Like, for example, if George was to compete in two bros naturals in 4 or 5 years, everyone would be like, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that's not, again, this is nothing about George. Like, that's just an example. Like, if you were to do that, everyone would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah.
Oh, me would be so funny. That would be such a 180. I think I would be like hounded off the stage. I would be allowed off the stage.
What if you were to wait 7 years and compete at UKDFBA just to annoy Lee?
Mate, Lee wouldn't let me on the stage, let alone imagine. Lee wouldn't let me on the stage ever, let alone 7 years. I'd have to not have a single client or not mention anything, just be on the download. That's only a joke. Lee doesn't have an issue with me. No, I don't have an issue with Lee. We're sound. So
Yeah.
I think so. I'm sound with Lee. I don't think Lee's sound with me after our last conversation. But yeah, no. In all seriousness, yeah, it's one of those, like, you got to commit to it, and you should make it for the right reasons. I don't regret what I've done at all.
I would.
Nah, I'm cool, mate. I'm sound. You see the big thing that I've got coming wouldn't be possible without PEDs. It definitely would be possible. But no, I'm happy with my decision. But I honestly think like I'm probably 1 in a million. But I also went into it with, I trained for 9 years. I'd got really lean multiple times.
I wouldn't say you're 1 in a million. I'd say like it's not. Obviously, we're seeing so many people. It's not like, but I think a lot of people who, especially when you get to a certain age and they've done it for X amount of years, like you say, it kind of wears off. You kind of realise, like, oh, I've not made what the pros expected.
We went to, let's say if we went to Ultraflex Derby, and we literally sat people down in a room and was like, have you taken PDs? Do you regret them? There'd be way more people that say yes, they regret them.
Yeah, it'd be like 70-80%.
Yeah, definitely. The only ones that wouldn't would be the ones that are progressing within competitive reasons, or
I think it's because of how it is nowadays. Well, I don't know about nowadays. It could have been like this years ago, but how it's marketed, people think steroids equals being the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't. Like that guy's question earlier, he was like, I don't want to take anabolics because the standard's so much higher. Like, I get what he means. Of course, yes, people are bigger within the enhanced realm, but like, it doesn't mean all of a sudden you become an amazing bodybuilder.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if let's say somebody this year, I don't know who, placed 8th out of 12 in a UKDFBA show, it's unlikely that unless they maybe like let's say they've trained for 10 years as well, yeah, and they still placed 8th out of 10 or 12, they're not going to be a good bodybuilder. Like, and that's not me being horrible. That's just the reality of the world we're in and the genetic sort of component of the sport we're in.
Yeah.
They could take anabolics, and yes, they'd be bigger, and yes, they'd grow, but they probably still won't be an amazing bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Like, I think people think anabolics equals I'm going to be fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they've not got the basics down anyway.
Yeah, if you're somebody who's got like a real wide waist, like fucking narrow clavicles, like your shoulders don't have some form of cap to them naturally, and you've got awful arm insertions, like you've got no bicep peak and no outer quad, and you've trained for a few years, and you progress slower than everyone in the gym, no matter what you could take a full-blown, like, off-season, like, pro-level cycle, you're not gonna fucking respond really well. Like, you might respond well, but you're still so far behind the pack that if you max out your frame, you're still gonna be shit.
What I would also say as well, though, like, obviously, yes, the genetic components that you said in terms of, like, muscle insertions and everything, for sure, but the progression component of, like, you progress slower than everyone else, I think that is just massively, massively down to what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a lot of people with pretty piss poor genetics who have made crazy progressed way more than people who have got good genetics, because they just are relentless. Like, they have to be because they know the genetics are shit.
Yeah.
Like, and these people would say that they'd be like, "Yeah, my genetics are shite, but I'm fucking on it, and that's why I've made this much progress."
Yeah. And likewise, we've seen the other way around. Like, again,
Yeah,
nothing personal. I'll say names. Perrin, like genetics for a 20, what was he, 21, 22? Ridiculous.
yeah,
But
21.
yeah, 21, 22. Like in immense insertions, so bubbly, so round. Training was poor, like objectively when it came to intensity. Like he could train different ways, but flat out intensity wise was never where it needed to be. And maybe the reason why is because he's not doing it as much anymore because he probably maybe didn't want to. He didn't really enjoy it as much as I don't know. I'm
That's
not trying to put words in his mouth, but insertion wise, if you had, let's say, I don't know, who's somebody who's not the best genetically, we don't need to say names, but let's say you put somebody with shit genetics or average genetics, but they train insanely well because they put their all into it every time because they have to.
I'm going to
Impairing the
say
body,
someone,
yeah,
and I don't think he'd be annoyed at me saying it. You know, Matthew Egerton, Megatron.
yeah. Oh yeah,
He would, if I was to say to him, mate, what level do you think your genetics are at compared to like the top? He'd be like, oh yeah, I've not got amazing genetics, but he trains very very well.
yeah.
He's
Got
really consistent. He got absolutely peeled
inside out.
for
Like
the level of muscle that he has, the progress that he's made.
yeah,
That is stupidly impressive.
yeah,
Way more impressive than just somebody who looks pretty good because they've got good genetics and they train all right.
yeah.
Like that, like I hope he doesn't mind me saying that because I think that's a big compliment. You know what I mean? Like, and he's making really good progress. Like, so that's what I mean in terms of people who use their genetics as a crutch, being like, oh, because he's tall. He's got long arms, got long limbs. Yeah, like he's not got the best frame. Let's say especially as a teen bodybuilder to fill out that frame at so young, like it's hard. So he could easily be like, oh yeah, my genetics aren't very good.
Yeah.
Instead, he's like, no, I'm fucking gonna crack on and be the best I can be.
You put that,
Like,
that brain into like someone like Perrin, you've got Dante 2.0. Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
mate, you put that brain
you've got
into
Dante before Dante. Like
yeah,
then you see the people like Jacob and Josh, for example, for teens, train incredibly fucking well, get up for every single set, and they also look the way they do at a young age. It's cool. Right, we've got two more, so we'll wrap it up. Most controversial person you've had on the podcast, Finn Kelly and Reese Pearson. I'd probably say.
yeah. I don't think we've had. Is anyone really that controversial?
No, I feel like people hype themselves up like, oh, I'm going to get myself cancelled. Like, I remember Pete and Jack. Pete was like, oh, I wonder. Pete was the most PG I think we've ever had. Like,
Yeah,
who's the most PG person we've ever had on the podcast?
Kez.
Yeah. Yeah, Kez is lovely though, isn't he? Everyone loves Kez. And then, last question, Finn Cartwright. You know Finn Cartwright, men's physique guy?
Of course I do, mate. I know
Yeah,
all the Finns.
yeah, sound, yeah.
We have a group chat.
Really? What, like bodybuilding Finns?
Yeah,
Who's the best?
me. Honestly, mate, we actually have a group chat. It's me, Finn McNamara, Finley Thornton, Finn Healy, and Finn Cartwright.
Where's Finley Roberts? He's way better than all of you.
He's not. He's not natty.
Yeah, okay. Is it Natty Finns?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, Finn Cartwright. Do you think there should be a Natty IFBB Pro card?
Yes.
I agree. I think it's like a bit of a career ender personally. I know there's some natural pro shows, but like I think the way to get it, like there will be somebody who spawns like a natty IFBB Pro card that isn't the natty IFBB Pro card because he doesn't get tested. The shows are shit, and the whole NPC with natural bodybuilding is so fucking skewed. So I think there should be like. I think they should go personally. I don't know. I don't know enough about it because neither of us do. But I honestly think let's say for example, if the IFBB were to fuck off their way and go, you know what, we're going to go through well trusted, let's say something like WMBF with polygraph testing, potentially year-round testing for the pro athletes, and say, right, when you win your WMBF Pro card, we actually allow you to compete within the IFBB natural ranks and you have an IFBB natural pro card. I honestly think that would be a far better decision than them going 3 years natural, 2 bro shows. If you're French and have a French passport, you win a fucking pro card. It seems a bit fucked. So, like, would you agree with that? Like, in regards to, like,
Yeah, I think people just need to get rid of this obsession
yeah,
with winning an IFBB Pro card. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, who am I to say anything about it? You do what you want, but I think the obsession with the card and the name of being an
yeah.
IFBB Pro is just so overpowering for everybody
It's not like
that
it's
like
where you win a pro card and you're get a sponsorship that's paying you a few grand, and you get.
Well, I just think like it takes away from like people's actual focus. People just focus so much on that card than the actual process of the physique. And like the guy that won that IFBB Pro card at the Two Bros show, like he's not anywhere near good IFBB pros. Like he's nowhere near that. Like Jack, for example, Jack Kinseyclough's fucking amazing, but he's still nowhere near. Like imagine you put Jack Kinseyclough next to Jack Eagles when Jack Eagles is in shape.
Yeah.
Like Jack's great. They're both great Jacks. Yeah, Jack KC is fucking mega, but he would not look great at all next to Jack Eagles. He'd still look like he's got good shape. He poses well. Don't get me wrong. He'd look good. Of course, he would look good, but he would be very small in the top ranks. And they should be. I think it would be great if they did have a natural IFBB Pro card and they had a natural IFBB league.
Yeah.
Like
what
that
about,
would be cool.
What about just a natural pro league? Like if they had a partnership with like the top tiers. You know, I think that would make way more sense. It's just like one, and it's like a battle. Like you get a pro card, and it's like cool. You've got now access to all these natty shows because
Some of them do that. I'm pretty sure the WMBF, you could compete as a pro if you had a pro card in any federation, or maybe that's what the MBW show is doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure.
I think the exclusivity and the sort of like it's NPC or nothing is gonna bottleneck natural bodybuilding.
I feel like that's what the MBW show is doing. They're doing a pro show where any pro, again, I might be wrong, but I think it might be where any pro card is accepted, like any natural pro card.
Yeah, but yeah,
which is quite cool.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where natural bodybuilding could genuinely take off in the next few years.
I think it will
if it's handled well. But I think at the top level within the Two Bros NPC route, I don't think it is. I don't think it ever will. Like at that level, but that's not to say that WMBF, let's say going down like the DFAC route and going down the INBA route, like I think there's definitely progression schemes that's really cool, and it's cool to see that there's more eyes open to it. But like for example, let's say Jack, if Jack wins a pro card, Kinsey this is like as it stands now, his bodybuilding competitive career is done. Like I know obviously there's a Two Bros natural pro show next year or whatever, and he'd be pretty sound in that. But there will be some freak who turns up who probably isn't natural, who won a pro card in probably a United like state kind of let's say show where he isn't natural or something, I don't know, and it's just a bit of a shame where Jack would then get beat by other people who probably aren't natty or maybe aren't as classic like happened on the weekend that's just gone, but they win anyway. I don't know, it's one of those sort of things. It would be cool to see a ladder. I think in the next few years there could be, but right now and the way it's going within the IFBB route, I don't really think it's going to be the case personally, but that's my opinion. I hope that I'm proved wrong. And yeah, next episode we'll have Jack Kinsey on the podcast to explain all of this. Yeah,
exactly.
Sound right, that's that. It's a long one. It's 9:15. I'm hungry and I'm tired, and I've got a kitten to try and hope to wear out before we go to bed. So yeah, Finn, any closing words for the podcast? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to leave us on? Fuad's podcast, they do a prayer. I think we could partake in some prayer.
Do they?
Yeah, I think like Paul does a prayer sometimes. So, Finn, you got any prayer words? Like, it doesn't have to be a proper prayer. We can make it up as we go.
I don't have a prayer, mate.
Okay, I'll leave us on a prayer. Okay, Finn?
Do you used to have to do the Lord's Prayer at school?
Yeah, I know the Lord's Prayer off by the top of my head.
Really?
Okay. Dear Lord, dear Father,
Our Father who art in heaven.
I shall become thy kingdom come.
I shall come, yeah?
I shall come as I something Kingsley Clough. Is it dear Lord or dear Father? Dear Lord, who art dear Lord, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, something Kingsley Clough.
Thy will be done.
In something ever. Give us our bread for our daily trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us something away from evil, like something about temptation, something. Amen. Yeah,
you really do know it off the top of your head, yeah?
I know kind of bits, but do you know it? Do you want to give a...
No, I'm not staying on this podcast anymore. We've been an hour and a half and people have switched off. Thank you for everybody who's listening. Thank you for everybody who's watched. Please like and subscribe. I don't know if we got any comments on that last one when we asked for those comments. We got 15 comments?
Yeah, I think I'll check now. We got 15 the last time I checked.
I'll reply to them in bed.
Okay. Let me see. 16 comments. Stuck the
Right.
tops. Cool.
Cool.
Right.
Do your
Goodbye, guys.
outro.
See you later. Bye. Sound.